So I think that when there is something to come and see, it gives people courage to go and tell.
That's powerful. For most people, it's that overflow of love. They had a connection with God at a church, in their prayer time, at home, wherever it was. And then they fell in love with Jesus and they went out and they just organically talked about him.
Yeah.
Our responsibility is just to sow, and then it's God's job.
Yeah. Very good.
Sorry, that was a bit preachy. Yeah.
Welcome to the Go&TELL podcast, where we share practical tips to believers all around the world. We are a community focused on encouraging the everyday believer to step into their calling of sharing the good news. There are no superstars in the kingdom of heaven. You don't need a platform or status. You just need the gospel and the Holy Spirit. Let's jump right in to Go and Tell.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Go&TELL podcast. And today is a very special day because we have two amazing pastors with us. We have first Pastor Micha. He's a pastor here in the Zurich, Switzerland area. Micha, welcome, buddy.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we have Pastor Brian Houston. Brian, welcome.
Thank you.
All the way from California now.
Well, yes, that's true. We're based in California right now. We're still going back to Australia for summer, Australian summer, which is around Christmas time. But big picture, yeah.
Are you a surfer?
My boys, big surfers. I love the water. I love body surfing, but no.
Have you ever tried?
My balance and coordination and surfing don't really go together.
My wife tells me the same about me.
Yeah.
She doesn't want me to get on a surfboard. She says I'll get hurt. The waves are going to hurt me. Did you ever surf when you were in?
I actually did, yes. Yeah, I went to Hillsong College. That's a while ago now, but yeah, I felt...
You were really well trained then.
Yeah, I am actually, yes. Funny enough, like I still have some sayings, like some nuggets that I pass on regularly.
Good.
You want to hear one of them?
Yes.
It's kind of like leadership is the problem and leadership is the solution.
That's good.
I still regularly quote that whenever we run into issues and stuff, so yeah.
It's good. Yeah, leadership is always the problem and leadership is always the answer.
Exactly, yeah. So you taught me that.
Are you a football fan? I'm working football.
No.
Do you know what this is?
I will watch a game and certainly like a Super Bowl or whatever, but no, I'm passionate about British football, which soccer. I love it.
Who's your soccer team?
Well, Chelsea, obviously. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I like Manchester United. Is that bad?
Yeah, it is.
I'd say Chelsea's worse,
I
but that's
would
fine.
say that it's close to cursing.
Oh, wow.
So talking
right there.
about Manchester United or Old Trafford or whatever.
Yeah. But we all agree Manchester City is the worst of them all.
Oh yeah. Well, Arsenal's the worst of them.
No, I'm an Arsenal fan.
Well, we're so glad to have you guys. And today we're talking about mobilizing the church, which is a very interesting topic because I was part of a large church in America that has the model of come and see, which is an incredible way to share the gospel and build the church. Come and see. It's taken from, as you guys both know, as pastors, we all know, the woman at the well, come and see this man, or Andrew, who talked to his brother Peter and said, come and see the Messiah. So it's vitally important as pastors and leaders. If you're a pastor watching this is for you. And if you're not a pastor, it's also for you.
Yeah.
But it's important that we have this come and see model, that we do ministry and church with excellence and professionalism because we represent an amazing Jesus. And you guys have done it so good. I mean, Hillsong Church was the epitome of reaching the world with this model of coming and seeing. You have done so much around the world, and we appreciate it. And same with you, Micha, and here in Zurich. But today we're going to talk about the opposite. So we're going to flip the script. Is that okay with you guys?
Yes.
So this is going to be a fun, uncomfortable, but it should be fun for all of our viewers who are listening.
Yeah.
So first question I have for you guys, because it's something I often think about, is how can pastors implement a go and tell model in their church also? So as you have this come and see, let's do everything with excellence. How do we implement going and telling Monday through Saturday the good news of Jesus and not just encouraging them to invite people?
You know, I actually think the two are not mutually exclusive. Come and see and go and tell. I think that, if you have a church where there really is something to hear, something to see, God's moving, and it's evident, And, what tends to happen is it gives people the courage to go and tell and encourage people to come and see, So, I just believe that, to go and tell, we're talking specifically about churches and pastors. You have a come and see culture. So for Hillsong, for example, many people from other churches, they would go and tell people about Jesus, but bring them to Hillsong Church to come and see, and their friends would get saved at Hillsong Church, and then go back to their own church. And so, I don't think they work against each other. I think they complement each other. Come and see, go and tell.
So it's kind of more like you want to give people an experience with Christ.
Yeah.
And when they come and they have that experience with Christ organically, they should go and tell. It's just,
So I think that when there is something to come and see, it gives people courage to go and tell.
That's powerful. That's good.
Yeah.
You're going to say something, Mike?
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about it because we are now trying to implement in our church a discipleship journey. And the last step obviously is, like we call it in Swiss German, so I'm not cussing whoever is listening in English, it's Swiss German, it's gang los, mach einen Unterschied. And it kind of is go and tell, to make a difference in this world. And the challenge sometimes is, how do you get people to want to be an influencer and want to be a change bringer in their environment wherever they are?
My wife, Bobby, is just passionately in love with Jesus. She gave her life to Christ when she was 15, and she is a genuine Jesus lover. So for her to go and tell is so natural because it's just the overflow in her life. And so Bobby can meet anyone, anywhere, and suddenly be sharing a testimony because she doesn't switch on, go and tell. It's just who she is.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, going and telling is a lifestyle. It's not something you do. It's not a checkbox we do every day. Like, okay, today I'm gonna go out for an hour and tell because that's what I need to do. But exactly what you're saying is, when we're passionately in love with Jesus, you can't help but let it ooze out of you. As the prophet said, it's like fire in your bones.
Yeah.
And so if you have a church model where obviously it's done with excellence and people are coming and seeing and falling in love with Jesus, again, they oftentimes go and tell.
Yeah, when I grew up in New Zealand, to me, witnessing, we called it, was sharing your testimony. It was something switched on. So it wasn't that. It wasn't just an overflow where you just naturally speak Jesus. And so you would switch into it. And to be honest, I hated it because like we'd go door knocking, kind of Jehovah's Witness type. I would be standing at the door just like I was 15 or whatever, just freaking out. Or we'd have a mobile caravan thing where it would open up and have open airs. They used to talk about open airs where you're just standing there preaching at people, shouting at people who are passing by. And so that was the model of go and tell that I grew up with. But yeah, that's difficult because it's not coming deep down out of your spirit. Exactly. You've just been taught a formula, Romans 23:23, or all have fallen short of the glory of God, blah, blah. And behold, I stand at the door and knock, just all these scriptures. And so it was a formula. But that never will flow naturally as far as I'm concerned.
No, and what usually happens with that, when you just memorize this formula, it's like a job you have to do.
Yeah.
After doing it 2 or 3 times, you're like, I've done that, I've tried it, I'm done. And you never do it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's not what it means to share the gospel.
And sometimes also the motivation isn't there, like you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. And I need to prove something to myself and to God. And it's not based in love. Yeah.
That used to bring out all my insecurities, believe me.
Yeah.
But I'm talking when I was a teenager.
Whenever I was in Bible school, I went to the Brownsville Revival School of Ministry at Pensacola, Florida. Every Friday night, we had to go and evangelize on the street. And I would always look for the one guy that loved street preaching. And I would always let him go like 5 feet in front of me, and I would stand in the back just... I would be like, come on, Jesus, please let this 2 hours go by, because I felt so awkward, man. And usually the people did not even want to talk to us. We would corner them. They have to talk to us. And yeah, it just never went as planned. And I know many people do that, and that's their calling, and that's great. But for most people, it's that overflow of love. They had a connection with God at a church, in their prayer time, at home, wherever it was. And then they fell in love with Jesus, and they went out and they just organically talked about him.
Yeah. I think just telling your story is powerful. And everyone has a story. And I think one of the most powerful weapons we have is our own testimony, our own story. You shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost shall come upon you, that you might be witnesses unto me. Your witness is your testimony and your story. And people's testimony who have been impacted by Jesus, it's their witness unto him. It brings glory to God. That's the best weapon we have. Just tell your story.
Honestly, I wholeheartedly agree with that. Like we had just this week, we have been to the French Alps, and like talking with a guide there, he was traveling with us, and we were a group of pastors, and he was kind of like, okay, what's going on with people? And so we started talking, and we asked him at one point, so what's your faith? And he was like, yeah, I can't believe in God if all these bad things are happening. And like you could go into theological debates there, but like it was just like, yeah, for sure there are discussions to have there, but let me just tell you how God met me. And like I think that's one of the key ingredients, and it really resonates so well with young people these days. They are so hungry and looking for meaning. So whenever you can share how you found meaning, like it does connect so much. Yeah.
I just, if you don't mind me, I think that what you touched on is so true. Like people are hungry for God these days.
Yeah.
People are hungry for answers.
Yeah.
There's a spiritual hunger in people that I don't think the experts were expecting.
No, I think it was very surprising.
The experts thought that the church was dying.
Yeah.
Young people are turning away. Like, I sort of read a big article just in the UK, just in the last couple of weeks, where young people are streaming back into churches. And so that makes going and telling a lot easier still when you realize that people actually are hungry.
Yes. I think so too. Like it's very important that we all understand. Like if you grew up like me, you may have the idea of, people don't want Christianity. It's weird. Don't push it and stuff like that. That may be true, but I'm telling you, like all the young people I know, they're hungry for meaning and answers, and they are very much open to the Holy Ghost and the supernatural because they need and they want a connection with the divine.
Yeah.
And so that's where Go and Tell becomes so much easier if you can just tell the story of how you met Jesus.
Yeah, even when people sort of put on that veneer, they don't believe in God. They don't really.
Yeah, that just a little.
Often it's just skin deep.
Yeah, exactly.
You just dig a little deeper, and they're hungry. They're hungry.
Yeah, they are. They want meaning. Like who doesn't want meaning? Who doesn't want to be loved? Like that's the nature of all humans. Yeah.
We belong now, Bobby and I, when we're not traveling and ministering and so on. We actually attend a church called Oceans Church in Southern California. One of our sons is a pastor there, and just in the last few months, they basically they created this thing called Baptize America. So right across America, churches baptized, and there in California, right where the Jesus Revolution baptisms happened at Pirates Cove, that's where we were baptizing people. But the point is, on one day, Pentecost Sunday, they baptized 40,000 people across America. So that says to me, people are hungry for God. Mostly people are getting baptized because they're new to the faith, and they're basically identifying with Jesus. These are good days for going and telling.
Yes.
Yeah, which, by the way, is Shawn's book that everybody needs. Go and Tell.
I think. Thank you. Just as you that are listening, you're being equipped and you're being encouraged to go out and tell, and God is preparing you to go and share the good news of Jesus. At this very moment, he's preparing people to hear the good news. So it's not like you're working all alone. As God's preparing you, he's preparing the hearers.
Absolutely.
And if you understand, the Great Commission is really the Great Commission. It's you and God doing it together.
That's awesome.
And as you go out, he's with you and he's with that person who's listening. It's an amazing opportunity that God has given all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no one comes to the Father except the Spirit. And so the Holy Spirit's working in people's lives, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I may come back to your initial question, okay, how would I encourage someone that is part of a church to go and tell?
Mhm.
Like, can I just give four simple steps? Like, first is change the mindset. Don't go in thinking, oh, no one wants it, because I think that's fundamentally flawed and people are hungry and they want to have answers. The second one is I would encourage people to be prayerful about it. Like, just start praying, God, please open doors. Please send me the right people across. And I think that makes a huge difference, because it will also just alter your perspective. You'll be looking for people and opportunities to share. And the third one is be prepared. Like, I have a guy in my church. He was traveling with the apprentice all the time, and the apprentice was asking him about Jesus all the time. So he knew, okay, I got to be prepared. So he wrote down a prayer, and when the moment was there, he was prepared, pulled it out, and they prayed it together in the work field where they were, because he was prepared to go and tell and be ready. And the last one is don't be discouraged if it doesn't happen in the moment, because that's not our responsibility. Our responsibility is just to sow, and then it's God's job.
Yeah, very good.
Sorry, that was a
Preaching,
bit
man.
preachy. Yeah,
So we're going to take up an offering really after Pastor Mike. And yeah.
I'm sorry, that was a bit preachy. Yeah,
No, it's great because we need practical steps to move forward. And it's great to be encouraged, but these practical things help us to move forward. So if someone's listening and they go to a church and the church does not have the culture of excellence, a culture of come and see and go and tell, and this evangelistic thrust, what could they do to help inspire the pastors and leaders? So you guys are both pastors. What would be helpful for someone to come and bring to the church?
All right, so you're talking about what should a come and see culture look like?
Yeah. No, what I was going to say is a lot of people who are watching this, they're not pastors at churches.
Yes.
And they go to a church and they say, I wish my church did things more excellent, more come and see. And then also, I wish my church helped us to go and tell. Like, what could those people do to bring that culture to the church without stepping over their boundaries of the leadership?
give your pastor a gift.
Good.
You guys.
Buy him a book. No.
If as pastors, church leaders, we're just thinking programs, we're just thinking programs. We've got to think people. Church is about God and people. And if people are always our focus, God and people, then hopefully everything we do is about connecting people. And so, programs in themselves are not inspiring, but even the way we preach, if we are preaching just to basically build the lives of people, that's attractive for people. Even people who don't know Christ, that's attractive for them. Because this guy, I'm the newcomer, I'm sitting in church, this guy actually cares about me. I always feel like don't just try to speak to people Sunday, speak to their Mondays.
Yeah, come on.
Don't just speak to their devotional life, speak to their vocational life. Speak into their life, their marriage, their relationship, and you don't have to be a Christian to be open to, how do you just succeed in life? How do I build a better marriage? How do I become better in my workplace? How do I become a better father, mother, whatever? So, come and see, to me, it's not lights and cameras and even worship teams. All of that's great, It's really just making it all about people. And if my heart is for people, then hopefully people sense that and they feel that and they're drawn.
So kind of, if I flip the question, it's kind of like, how would I like people to tell me from my congregation? Yeah. So if I think it about that way, I would love for them to ask questions, because that's always the best way to open up thinking and to open up a conversation that is non-threatening. If they're ready and able to ask good question in humility, that I think is very powerful. So like, go ask your pastor, hey, what can we do about this? And then enter a dialogue about, like, don't go and tell them what to do, but come in with a question and ask, how can we reach our neighbors? Do you have an idea? How can I be part of that? I think that would be maybe a way to open up a very good conversation that is helpful and not destructive.
When we started out, so I'm talking 40 years ago now, our kids are small. In fact, some of them, my daughter wasn't even born when we started Hillsong, but I used to ask myself a question. I used to ask myself, if I was me, and I am, but I was a businessman, and I was married, I had 3 kids, which I do, what kind of church would I want to go now? Like, what would that church look like? And I just determined, build that church, if the church that I would want to go to. And I think often if pastors just think like that, not what does the denomination require, what are the things we have to fit into a service, including altar calls, just build the kind of church that you, if you weren't a pastor, would want to go to. And generally that church will be the type of church that people will want to come to, including non-Christians. So it's practical, it's simple, but
Yeah, it's simple. It's great. Those are great questions to ask if you're a pastor. Yeah, exactly. What's so great is right now all around our world, God is raising up a nameless, faceless generation of people who are just in love with Jesus and want to share the good news to everyone around them, and they want to be plugged into these healthy churches. But then also they say, God, can you use me? And he's just raising up a generation that just loves Him and to be part of this movement that he's doing all around the world.
how did you become so passionate about the gospel?
Yes,
About going and telling.
Yeah,
Why is it so important to you?
yeah, it's so important to me because Jesus saved me.
Right.
Church didn't save me. Famous preacher didn't. I wasn't watching a TV program or whatever. Like Jesus just changed my life.
Yeah.
And I look back on my life, and if it hadn't been for Him, where would I be? And the journey He's taken me on, there's been highs, there's been lows, but Jesus has been my best friend all the time, my only friend sometimes, but He's been with me this whole time, and He saved me. Like I'm going to heaven. As a believer, this earth is the worst it will ever get for me as a follower of Christ. This is as bad as it gets. I live in Switzerland. I'm hanging out with 2 amazing people. Like, this is the worst my life will ever get. But without following Christ, this is the best it'll ever get. And when you look at those 2 huge dynamics, our world needs Jesus, man. He's the way, the truth, and the life. He's the hope. He's the anchor. He's the standard. We can go on and on and on. But all of this, I'm in love with Jesus. In love with Jesus.
And that's the whole point, I think. Your testimony is the overflow of your life.
Yeah.
That's what connects with people.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Hey, I have a random flipping the script question really quick, but if you could have been, for both of you guys, if you guys could actually have been at the scene of one of the stories in the Bible, which one would it have been?
You first.
Yeah, I know which one. When Jesus undid the scroll of Isaiah and said, "It's fulfilled in your sight." I want to be in that moment and see how He walked through a group of people willing to stone Him for what He just said, and no one touched Him. Like that if I ever go to the heaven and get to go to the video room, like when you get to see all of that, that's the first one I'm going to pull out, and I want to just see how He declared and proclaimed his divine commission on earth, how it started, and that to me is just like I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. It's just thinking about that moment when Jesus with authority proclaimed who He is and walked through an angry crowd of people, no one able to touch Him. I guess that would be one of mine.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
I always just love the way that Jesus confounded the Pharisees and the religious people and shut their mouths, basically, just by, His wisdom. And He often answered a question with another question, a better question. But so with that in mind, maybe I would love to have been watching on with the woman who committed adultery and watching Jesus telling the religious people, let him who's not sin cast the first stone, and just watching them.
What do you think He wrote on the ground?
With no answer. Well, that's the whole point. He might have been writing their sins down.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. That would be interesting to see what it was that He was writing, yeah.
And so, I would love, maybe for their motives, because yeah, sure, I'd be really thrilled that, a woman was finding answers in Jesus, but big picture, I'd just love to see the mouths of the religious people shut.
Yeah.
And he's still doing that today.
Exactly.
Jesus is the greatest one.
Now you gotta share yours.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. Maybe,
Lazarus?
I haven't really thought about it. I asked the question. I haven't thought about Lazarus. Lazarus would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Imagine that story.
Yeah.
Or Jesus.
Like a rotten guy raising from the dead. Like,
Yeah, that could have been pretty epic. There's so many great stories. The most important thing is Jesus is the center of all of it.
yes.
He is the reason why we do everything we do. He is the reason we live and move and have our being. He's the one we want to go and tell as many people about Jesus as possible. And he's the reason why we need to mobilize the church to go out and share the good news of Jesus.
Good.
So Ben, thank you very, very much for being here, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Go and Tell podcast. If you've enjoyed this podcast, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you would like to learn about how to get involved in the Go and Tell movement, you can send us a DM on Instagram. If you want to support what we're doing here at Go and Tell, you can click the link in the description where it will give you all the information on how to donate. Finally, I want to encourage you to grow in your walk with God and in evangelism by buying the Go and Tell book and learning and reading it and sharing it with your friends. Hope you have a great day.